Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome friends to another broadcast. Alhamdulillah. I hope and pray that this video reaches all in the best of conditions. Inshallah. May our love for Allah move us to make good decisions and good choices with everything in our lives, especially when it comes to choosing a mate, a life partner. Ramadan is right around the corner, alhamdulillah, and you hear so many people saying, oh, inshallah, this will be the year that I find that special someone that I can marry and share my life with. And inshallah, whatever you are praying Allah for, may it be so for you. But now going back to looking for a marriage partner, it is very important that our love for Allah is first and foremost, and that we're using that love that we have for Allah to help us to make a good choice when it comes to a marriage partner. We don't want to be so overwhelmed because we're lonely and we see everybody else getting married and yet we're not married, so we feel like we have to rush into something. No, that would not be a wise course to take. And also, you don't want to be blinded by looks either. You know, you can see a man or a woman and they're very nice looking and you think, oh, alhamdulillah, I could look at that day and night, alhamdulillah, he'd make a great wife, he'd make a great husband, or she'd make a great wife. No, we don't want to think like that. That kind of thinking gets people into trouble. When we are looking for a marriage partner, it's very important that we find another person just like us who loves Allah. Because if they love Allah, you know that they will love you. Because a person's love for Allah moves them to do the things that please Allah. That person has the same mindset as you when it comes to marriage. But also, is this someone that you can get along with? Because sometimes a person can be spiritually strong. They can be a very good spiritual person, but they can be a nasty human being. I know that sounds very odd, but sometimes it can be the case. Inshallah, it's not many, but it can be the case where you meet somebody who they know the Quran from front cover to back cover and they know the hadiths very well, but it's just for show. It's just for show. And they're not a very nice person. Inshallah, Allah protect us from that type of situation. But that Allah help us to find somebody that loves Him and seeks His pleasure and wants to make Him happy. Because now we are on the same course with that person because they have the same mindset as you. They love Allah, they want to make Allah happy. And when you get married with somebody like that, you know that that person is going to do everything that they can to be the best husband or the best wife, because their love for Allah compels them to be. It's very important not to feel pushed into something that you're not ready for, and to get involved with somebody who is not going to cherish and nurture your heart. And you have to feel happy with yourself and love yourself first before you can expect somebody else to love you and make you happy. A lot of time people, they look for a relationship because something is missing in them, and they see it in the other person, and they think that that other person is going to be able to help them to get that, and it doesn't work that way. You have to be 100% with yourself, because if you're not, you're going to make that other person's life difficult, and that's not fair. That's why when you marry, it should be because you are ready. You know your deen, you know your responsibility, being a wife or being a husband, because you know your responsibility before Allah. That's why it's so important to love Allah first before you love somebody else. In Islam, we have a big problem. And that is the divorce rate. Divorce is so high in Islam. If you look at the statistics, it's unsettling. And you think, what is going on here? What is the issue that all these people are getting divorced? You hear of sisters that have been married 4, 5, 6, 7 times. And you think, how many times can a person get married? Or brothers that have been married 10, 20 times. And you think, what is going on? What is causing these marriages to fail? Most of the time it's because we're rushing into it. Sometimes we see the failings of the person, but we're so blinded by the looks, or we're so blinded by the wallet. There's something there that we just refuse to see. Because we want so much to be married, to be in a relationship, to be able to come home to somebody. But then we don't realize that, is being in that company of that person better than being alone? If when you're with that person, and the moment they walk out the door and they're gone for the day, and you're happy like, yippee, they're not here anymore. I have peace, I have quiet, I have tranquility. Then you know you got a problem. If you're coming home from work and you're passing down the street and you see their car in the driveway and you know they got to go to work in an hour, and you're just busy driving around the neighborhood waiting for the car to leave to go to work, to come home, you got a problem. Obviously, that person is not your peace. You don't want to be in their company. That's why it's so important not to rush into it. I understand that marriage is part of our faith. You're completing half of your faith. But you have to be very selective. You can't just marry somebody just because you want to get married, or just because they look a certain way or they have something. But you really need to take your time. It's very important. Very important, especially if it's a man who wants more than one wife. He may be into polygamy. Maybe he's not. Some people say, okay, I want you to sign a contract saying that you're not going to get another wife. You can't do that. That's not Islam. You're going to make a man sign a contract saying that he cannot get another wife. It's sunnah if he wants to get another wife. That's why it's important for you to find out. Look, I'm not into polygamy. Are you okay with that? I want to be the only lady of the house. I want to be the only one who's in your life. You need to let him know. Very important. A lot of sisters don't do that, and then the moment that the man says, oh, I want to get another wife, she's getting all upset, throwing a tantrum. These are things you need to discuss before you get married. It's very important. Do you like to cook? Do you want to clean? Do you want to have babies? These are very important things, because there's a lot of women that they want to be in business. They want to be entrepreneurs. They want to work. They want to be outside of the home. They don't want to be in the home cooking, cleaning, and taking care of kids. This is very important. You need to let the man know that. And men, the same with you. Do you want her to work, or you don't want her to work? There's so many things that you need to find out about the person before you get married. And I've been over this subject before. You can look at my library of videos, because this topic is important because of the fact that our Islam, the statistic of divorce is so high. So high. And it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to me. For Muslims, the marriage should be strong and thriving and healthy, because we're serving Allah, we're following Allah, and we're living up to the code, to His guidelines that He has set out. So what is this issue that there's so much divorce? Is it the possibility that we are jumping in too quickly? We really need to make lots of dua to Allah, pray incessantly that He help us to find the right person. That we don't just jump into it because we want to catch up with everybody else that is married. Or because we don't want to spend Ramadan alone. We want to spend Ramadan married. You know, it's a sad thing to be with somebody that you thought was one way, and then they turn out to be something completely different. And oh my, for those of you who have married a narcissist, my heart goes out to you, because narcissists are the things that nightmares are made of. These creatures are from a whole different space. And to be in a relationship with one of those, you feel like you're going crazy, you're losing your mind. And maybe that's why there's so many divorces, because many have married narcissists and they have to get out of that. And then they end up with another one and then another one. You don't know. But these people, they don't take accountability for anything. They don't take the blame for anything. These people will make you feel like you are losing your mind. And unfortunately, we live in a world where there's a lot of narcissists, and they run rampant in every religion. They love to be any place where they get attention and they can get some kind of power. They love that. So I pray to Allah that He protect our brothers and our sisters from these type of creatures, because they really are the stuff that nightmares are made of. That's why, again, it's so important not to jump into marriage, but to take it nice and slow, easy. Because, again, a person can seem to be something they are not, and you can easily be fooled. But if you are looking for someone who loves Allah just as much as you do, alhamdulillah, you have a better chance of having a healthy and happy marriage. Someone who treats you good, but someone who treats their mom and dad good. Because remember, to be a Muslim is to respect and to love your parents. And if this man or woman doesn't respect and love their parents, guess what? They're not going to love and respect you. They're not. So very important, you look. Don't just go by emotions, but really look. You really have to peer deeper. Take your time. Observe. Ask the imam. Not just the imam. Ask other people. Oh, do you know brother so-and-so? Do you know sister so-and-so? Talk to their family members. See what they say. But don't just go by what you see, because the heart sometimes is always going to want to see what it wants to see. And then when the brain kicks in and the brain is saying, the heart is so strong because it wants what it wants. And we really want to believe that that person is our kindred spirit. And they're not. For some of us, we may have to wait a lifetime for our kindred spirit. But alhamdulillah, it's worth it. Better to wait a lifetime than have a lifetime of pain and suffering. And your peace is disturbed. The worst thing is you don't have any peace. If you don't have any peace in your relationship, you will not be happy. And don't think that it won't affect your Islam, because it will. Because when you're sad and you're depressed, it's hard to focus on praying. It's hard to focus on studying. It's hard to focus on anything. You don't want to do nothing. You don't want to be around no one, because you're sad and you're depressed. Because you're sick inside. Because you're suffering inside. Because the person that you're with is not a healthy medicine for you. They're slowly poisoning you. Slowly poisoning you. And taking everything away from you that you once valued and held so dearly. And you gotta really pray to Allah to help you to fix that. Because what the shaitan loves the most is for people to become weak and depressed and sad. He loves that. That's why, again, make sure that you take your time in who you're getting involved with. You have to be careful. Even you sisters and brothers online, you meet people online. When you're talking with somebody, they can use anybody's picture. Even with AI technology now, it's amazing. They can even use people's voices. You don't know who you're dealing with and who you're talking with. You gotta be careful. They can make themselves out to be the most wonderful, amazing human being. And they're nothing but nasty pieces of work. And dangerous. Dangerous. There's a lot of scammers. They call them romance or sweetheart scammers. You gotta be careful. Especially on Facebook. And on Facebook, they're going on your page and they're looking at all your posts. And if you're posting romantic things and pretty music, and they're like, this is a person who's lonely. This is a person who's looking for love. They are reading your page. And they are sizing you up by reading your page. Who you are. What you're like. Where your vulnerabilities are. So they can learn how to play you and work you. So many people have been scammed like that. And Facebook is like the number one hotspot where people come on and they try to take advantage. Ask brothers and sisters, the ones who will tell you, because most people won't say anything because they're so embarrassed. They won't say, yeah, I was scammed. They won't say it. But those who are not embarrassed, they will tell you. They will tell you, yes, this happened to me. I sent this amount of money to this person. I did this, I did that. I flew out to see this person. You got to be careful. It's very dangerous out there. And we think because we're Muslims and we're talking with other Muslims that they have our best interest at heart. But guess what? They don't. As Muslims, we shouldn't be lying to one another, taking advantage of one another, but you don't know if that person on the other end is even a Muslim, is pretending to be a Muslim. It's very dangerous. There was a beautiful lady from Mexico. She met a man online, and she flew out to his country to meet him. And everything was going fine. She got there, and after 6 months, he ended up killing her. Not only did he kill her, he took out all her organs, even took her face, and then chopped her up into pieces and threw her in the river. Somebody that she trusted was her boyfriend. And he waited slowly and patiently. He didn't just do what he was intending to do, which was harm her. He waited so that she could feel safe and she could feel secure. But he had ill intent from the beginning. And this beautiful woman lost her life because of somebody that she trusted online. And then there's another story of another one where ended up giving $150,000. She lost everything. Her home, everything. And ended up killing herself. These are the things that are happening out there because people want love. And there's nothing wrong with wanting love. There's nothing wrong. But you gotta be careful. Gotta be careful. Especially when you're online and some of these guys, girls too, but guys, they be messaging you and they can't even spell right. You already know, okay, this is somebody from Nigeria, this is somebody from, I don't know, Crete, somebody from, what's that other place? There's another place I can't think of right now, but somewhere in Africa, somewhere in the Middle East, somewhere in India. These are the scammers out there. They can't even spell right. Can't even spell right. And they're trying to start a conversation with you, asking you all personal things and stuff like that. It's like, that's none of your business. Get lost. Get out of here, you piece of junk. Get out. And that's what you need to say. Get out. And if they were real Muslims, there's no way they would be entering your space trying to strike up a conversation with you. If they're really good men or they're really good women, okay? There's no way they would be entering your space. Because really, if you're going to meet the right person for you, you're going to meet them at the masjid. That's where you're going to meet them. At the masjid, or they're a friend of your family. I mean, I'm sure there's a couple of good stories. Oh, we met online. We have been married for a long time. We're happy, blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. But that's not always the case. It's mostly when you meet someone in the masjid or family member, friend, or something like that. No, most of these people online, they're con artists. And you need to be careful. You get yourself into serious trouble. You can end up losing your life, having your heart broken, losing your money. It's not worth it. Again, you need to take your time. And you sisters, if you're going out there to meet a man, you make sure you take someone with you. Your brother, your father. Take a couple of the men in your family with you. Don't go meeting a man alone. Don't do it. It'll be the very last thing you do. Don't do it. Don't do it. I have to talk about this because it's really sad. It's really sad what is happening to our brothers and sisters out there. It's happening to many people. But the fact that it's happening to Muslims is very sad. It's very sad. And everybody's trying to find that special one. Allah already has chosen that person for you. Wait patiently on Allah. But if you're going and you're doing it your own way, it's not going to turn out well. It's not. Sometimes the best loves are the ones that just happened. You weren't expecting that person, and here they were at the masjid. And alhamdulillah. But again, you got to be careful. It's not a joke. You don't want to be one of those statistics out there. You don't. You know, take your time. Go slow. Don't be fooled by looks, and don't be fooled by the way they talk. If they're flashing money around, don't even be fooled by that either. Don't be fooled by none of that. All of that is nothing. The only thing that matters is that they love Allah. And if they love Allah, then alhamdulillah, you have a good chance of having a good relationship and a healthy relationship. So Allah, we pray that Allah make it easy for all of us. And that Allah keep us safe. And those who are married, keep their marriages strong. And that those who are looking, that they find the person that is meant for them, that is going to add to their peace. Until we meet again, dear brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.